going on YouTube? It's James with ChiHammer Fantasy Battle Reports, and it is Memorial Mayhem. Now, guys, I don't know what that is. I think it's a garbage truck. Anyways, guys, for the record, I'm going to go ahead and say this out right now. I'm recording this on Memorial Day. I just came back from Virginia yesterday. We went from Virginia to Charlotte down to back to Chicago. And while we were there, just to give you guys a little story of what's going on and why we went to Memorial Mayhem, which is in Virginia, which is a team tournament. I'm going to give you guys a little feedback and a little story time here. So we weren't planning on going to Memorial Mayhem. We were planning on going to Wicked GT, and what happened is we got the dates mixed up. Because the dates were mixed up, Phil Carl was the one who convinced us on Universal Battle, which if you play, you might have played him. He plays a tree army, which it goes under by the name of Kazandu. And Phil Carl was like, guys, if you guys can't make it to Wicked, why don't you just come to Memorial Mayhem instead, since I'm here and I'm looking for teammates. So we were like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we were like, my brother, Jesse, myself, James, and Phil were like, dude, the three of us, we're fucking good players. We'll do well. Why not? Fuck yeah. Who's our fourth? It doesn't matter. And all of a sudden, they paired us with a fourth person that was just trying to sign up to fill up that fourth slot. As I understood, I have no idea where Irby came from. But anyways, Irby was our fourth player. Now, like a week before, a couple days before the actual event, Wargaming from the Balcony posted up a video that was going over the list. They were reviewing all the lists. And to be honest, they voted, not voted, but like for the most part, they really gave my brother's list a pretty, they basically said it was one of the most, the least scary ogre unit, I believe was the word. It was the one that just didn't scare them as much, or army. Mainly because he didn't have a Hellfist. They kind of went a part of my army just because I didn't have Chaff, and I don't like playing with Chaff, to be honest, especially when I have Fanatics, and especially when I have Pyromancy. It's like, or where everybody has Pyromancy, all the Chaff dies really quick to Pyromancy, unless your Chaff has Fireborn, which is another interesting thing to consider. But so that was one thing, and basically they didn't really give much attention to our list. So we were kind of going in there. We watched this video and we were like, let's prove them wrong, man. Let's prove them wrong. Let's do as good as we can do, right? So as a team event, or I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. So Phil says, tells us, you know, we actually have somewhere to stay. So we end up staying at Joel Flint's house, and Joel Flint is a Team USA guy. So Joel Flint, coincidentally, is the first person I'm playing in this battle report. And you guys might have heard his name before because he's been in several battle reports already as the Peasant Horde. This guy has anywhere from 200 to 400 peasants, depending on what time of the list that they've played in those other battle reports. So we stayed at Joel Flint's house. We were talking about it. We already knew we were playing Team America the first game, or aka the Brave Companions, the first game as soon as we go in. Now, we did matches, we did matrices. Matrices are a way to kind of pair up and understand who do you think you'll do good against. And originally I put down that Joel would be a good army for me to go against depending on scenarios. Personally, I wanted, and this is the way we thought about it, was we have Irby, because Irby was actually kind of told, or not told, he was, when they reviewed the list, they said Irby had pretty much the worst list in the tournament, which unfortunately it kind of proved to be correct. But I don't know exactly what motivated Irby to bring what he brought. I don't know if Phil had some input on that. I don't know. We didn't really like sit down and say these are the lists you guys had to bring. That's not my style, to be honest. It's like, you know what, play what you want to play, and we'll play you to your strengths. We'll put you to your strengths. So, and then for the record, I think that we had a good split. We had my brother with cannons and ogres and rocks, so it's a hammer army. We had Phil as a rush forward tree army. Then we had me with a shooty goblin list. So we had a different array of armies, and then Irby had a army of Undying Dynasties where he could just pop up and try to take breakthrough deployments or anything like that. So, anyways, so we go against Team America. Now, the first thing we did was we did matches, and we try to figure out matchups. Now, Chris Mintz has one of the most dickish lists, and I'm going to go ahead and say that again. Chris Mintz has one of the most dickish lists out there right now in the world. All right. The only other person I think that has more of a dick list than Chris Mintz is my friend John653, because I hate vampire counts. So now since we already know that Chris Mintz's list is a very difficult list to deal with, we already saw how my battle report went against him the last time I played him. I know it was a bad matchup for me. My brother knows it's a bad matchup for him. It could have been okay with my brother having 2 cannons, but it really depends on luck, more or less. And then we know Phil Carl knows that he'll lose to Chris Mintz. So we're like, you know what? Why don't we give Chris to Irby? And then it came down to who plays Murphy, and they threw down Murphy first. And even though they threw down Murphy first, they threw down Chris. No, they threw down Caps. Yeah, they threw down Caps instead of. I want to say that was it. We threw down Murphy, or they threw down Murphy. Excuse me. They threw down Murphy. We threw down Phil. That's how it went. So us throwing down Phil, they gave us 2 choices, which was Chris and Ryan. We gave Phil, Ryan, Caps. Murphy chose Jesse, which made me play Joel. Okay. That was 6 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. That was like 6 minutes of me just yammering about how we got this matchup started. But basically, that's the story behind it. That's how we got to this matchup right here, where I'm playing Mr. Joel Flint and his peasant army. Now, we're playing the flag scenario. Now, here's the big story. Here's the big kicker. Right before we got there, I mean, I got to the airport, got my army into the freaking right up to the checkpoint, and they were like, your bag is too big, you're gonna have to check it in. I didn't want to check it in because I know they freaking manhandle bags. I'm like, guys, it's fragile, please. So I take Koopa out, and I take the Crom out, and I put them in a box that I'm carrying around in my hand, and I said, I'm just gonna put this box under the seat. So they threw all the rest of the guys under the plane. By the time I got the bag back with these giant big fragile stickers all over it, freaking I had at least 30 to 40 broken models. I am not kidding. Axes were missing, hammers were missing, horns were missing, heads were off, arms were missing. Freaking, I look like a zombie army. I look like one of those armies that just came back in pieces. And it was probably the worst way to bring my army. And I think I should just kind of make a traveling army, which is like units that are not as customizable, just for travel. Anyways, so I get there, and then Joel's driving us, and Joel's like, don't worry. He's like, we have to eat. So we eat, and I have no problem with eating. Eating is great. Eating is awesome. I am a personal trainer. I think about eating like 90% of the time. Somebody just made a comment talking about how I'm always eating or always hungry when I'm making videos. Anyways, but by the time we got to the freaking actual tournament, we were already like 5 to 10 minutes late. Everybody's already starting up matches. Everybody's starting up everything else, and we walk in together. Myself, Joel, Jesse, and Phil all together, which is my team and one person from Team America. We get there. Joel's army's already set. I have to pull out a whole horde of like 100 models. 100. Or more than 100. 140 models or so. So I'm trying to pull out all the pieces. Joel's already deploying. Joel already roll for magic. I'm trying to roll for magic. I'm trying to glue things together with Joel's glue. And I'm just like, my head was not in the game from the minute we started. I'm thinking like, oh my god, all my guys are broken, blah blah blah. And that's how I started. Anyways, let's go over what the army lists are, and let's go over what happened in this game. Alright, so first off, I got my cave goblins. I got 30 cave goblins. They got 2 madgets. I got, whoa, come on, flip to the next picture. I got my 36 common goblins. As you can see, there's just like missing bodies. There was one guy who was just a straight base. I don't even know where the guy is. But I got 36 common goblins. They have bows, shady gits, and I got a new shady git right in the front. You can't miss him. He's just a giant guy with a rat cape. I love it. He is honestly one of my favorite models that I have. I do have my level 4 Pyromancer, and this is also the Bazooka and the Horde. Over here I got King Koopa. King Koopa's missing his peg leg. I'm just going to go over what's missing. Oh man, yeah. So Koopa's missing his peg leg, but he's a 1-up, 4-up Goblin King with the Obsidian Sword. Over here, I got my Black Orcs. One of the Black Orcs is missing his hand. My General's missing his hammer, which I don't use him as my General this round, just to show you that. And 30 Black Orcs. I got a unit of another 30 Cave Goblins, Bows, and Fanatics. I got my Spider, the Space Rock. The Space Rock, oh, he's missing one rider and missing the Halberd. But for the most part is intact. And then I also have Crom, and I don't have a picture of Crom for whatever reason, probably because I was in a rush. But that was it. That was basically my list. For my opponent here, he has a unit of Peasants, about 59 to 60 Peasants. Here, he has another unit on the right of Peasants, about 59 or 60 Peasants. He has 2 Trebuchets. He has a unit of Peasant Archers with a Reliquary. And then he has these 2 Pegasus Knights. One of them is the BSB. One of them is a Duke, which is like a Lord level. He's about 400 points or so. Then he has 2 units of Yeoman Outriders. And then he has the Green Knight himself, and then a Lord of Divination or a Wizard of Divination, whatever it is. For magic, I got Pyroclastic Flow, Scorching Salvo, Enveloping Embers, and Immolation. And basically, he started deploying, and he deployed in a corner. I deployed, and originally I dropped just Crom. And the reason I dropped Crom, that's probably why I didn't take a picture of Crom, because I deployed him already. But I deployed Crom in the middle behind the rocks, just to kind of see where he was going to go. My whole goal originally, and again, this is me with like super scatterbrain, trying to just build my guys, fix my guys, and whatever, was to have Crom and the A-Rock just grind a horde down. I wasn't thinking about Peg Knights, I wasn't thinking about anything. The only thing I actually had thought about was the Green Knight. The Green Knight's going to ambush, and he's going to be in the back, and even though Koopa could run up and do whatever, Koopa will bounce off a horde or just stick in a horde, and he can help with the grind potential, but basically if that Green Knight comes up and kills my Goblins, there's nobody back there who's going to handle the Green Knight. So I figured Koopa's my best bet against handling the Green Knight. Everybody else push forward. Alright, so I deployed, he deployed on the left corner, I deployed in the left corner, hoping that the runes might help me out actually. And again, going back on this, I think that I could have had a better, hindsight's 20/20. I think I could have had a better strategy just going forward and just focusing fire on one unit of Peg Knights. But I deployed far enough back where I'm not going to get any shooting turn 1, and I believe I gave him first turn hoping that he would move up. Turn 1, Kingdom of Equittaine. Peasants of Equittaine. I'm not even going to call them Kingdom. It's Peasants of Equittaine. Peasants of Equittaine, turn 1. So Joel does not move up. Of course he doesn't move up. All he does is move up 1 Peg Knight. 1 Peg Knight. We're playing flags. He only has 3 flags. I have 4. He decides he's going to pick apart my Black Orcs, and that was his goal. That was his mindset. Magic Phase, he got 8 power dice, but you know what? Everything was kind of far away. Just do a bubble scrying, and I stop it, and then basically nothing else was really in range. So he starts with the Trebuchets. Trebuchet 1 shoots right into my Black Orcs. Boom! Starts off the game killing off 4. The other Trebuchet misfires, and he takes a single wound, and that is it. That's going to start off turn 1. So turn 1, Orcs and Goblins. Guys, here it goes. We're just going to start this off. So I march up Crom, figuring, yes, Peg Lord could charge in. I might be able to freaking crush attack it. If his Peg Lord hits Crom, he's going to be stuck there for quite some time. If he flies over Crom, I really don't care. I'm going to throw some Fanatics over. One thing I don't know why I even did this. I have no fucking clue why I did this. And my excuse is that I wasn't in the right mindset. I was worried about my freaking broken models. I marched up the Black Orcs. I marched up the Goblins. I marched up the other I only marched those 2 up. For some fucking reason, I didn't march up the Goblins in the back. They can't shoot anything. There's nothing in range for them to shoot at the moment. I could have just marched them up. But I wasn't even thinking. Alright. Koopa's staying in the back, kind of waiting for that Green Knight to pop. If the Green Knight decides to pop anywhere else, whatever. We'll see where it goes. Right? And then I marched the Spider all the way up to the left. You can see Jake motherfucking Murphy's model right on the edge as well. And I marched the Spider all the way up on the left, thinking, oh, the Spider's going to go into a horde and just have a field day. Nobody going to stop my Spider. The Trebuchets won't hurt it because because he'll miss one most likely. Alright. Magic Phase got 8 power dice. Go ahead and I do a Ruby Ring. I go ahead and I throw it right into the trebuchet. Does 4 wounds onto it. All my other magic keys stopped. Okay? Now, it's going to start off his turn. Peasants of Equittaine turn 2. So he charges this guy into Crom. And I'm like, what's his strength? He's like, strength 6. I'm like, well, whatever. I'm stuck. I'm immune to psychology. I'm not going to go anywhere, right? By the way, that's the name. The name of our team is Immune to Psychology. Then this happened. And I'm not proud of it. This is exactly what happened. He charged his other Peg Knight, which was in the unit of Peasants, into the Space Rock. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm dead serious, I did not even see this Peg Knight in this bus of Peasants. I wasn't watching him put it in there. I had no clue it was there. I was like, son of a bitch. God damn it. So he charges this guy in. I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm going to stand and shoot. Nothing really happens. Gets in here, angles it so that way if Crom fails, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking, like, okay, if he got a charge, I'm pretty sure he's not going to wound Crom because you have to, like, rely on hitting and wounding, and it'll be pretty difficult to get to T8, right? He needs a lucky 6. But in the event that he doesn't wound Crom, I'll stick on a leadership 7. Again, I should have just kept Crom closer to the general in the BSB, but I wasn't thinking. So that's my hope, is that I'm sticking on a leadership 7. Alright, over here he gets in like so. This guy's going to be stubborn on a 9 no matter what. Alright, so then he decides to move up the Peasants to kind of block counter charges if my Black Orcs go in or something like that. I have no idea. He also moves up his Yeoman Outrider so that way if I wheel, I'm going to hit them. I can't make a legal charge into his BSB. Alright. Magic Phase, he got 4 power dice. He goes ahead and throws a bubble scrying. I try to stop it. I can't. Gets it off. He goes ahead and shoots a trebuchet or archers, one of those two, into my Black Orcs. Kills off 3 or 4 of them. And then that's about it. Oh, he Ruby Ringed me. He Ruby Ringed me and did 3. That's what it was. Close combat here. He goes ahead and swings. He whiffs. He doesn't do a single wound of damage. I go ahead and I do a crush attack. I whiff. I don't do a single wound of damage. So it's a giant fluff fest. We're throwing pillows at each other and we're missing entirely. We're throwing like little sock balls where you put your socks in a ball and throw it at each other, and it's just like flying in the air and you totally missed. And even if it did get hit, it was a sock that hit you. Nothing really happens. You're not gonna die. So the freaking Crom, alright, on a leadership 7 fails. Runs. And like a dumbass, since I didn't even march up the guys in the back, for no reason whatsoever did I not just not march them. Alright? Freaking Crom runs through both units of Goblins and ends up off the table. Okay. Everybody's allowed a bad game, guys. It just happened to be my game was against Team America. Alright? So, and then in my defense, Ben mentioned later on that night about drinking Monster, and I told him, well, if you notice, the minute I started drinking Monster during the game, my mentality changed. Anyways, this guy over here, he does 3 wounds onto the Space Rock. Space Rock fails to wound him, and yeah, that's about it. Space Rock sticks because the General and BSB are both there. We're going to go ahead and be stubborn, and it's going to go ahead and start off turn 2, Orcs and Goblins. Turn 2, Orcs and Goblins. Who the hell is messaging me? Stop it. Alright. 2 turn Orcs and Goblins. So since this guy was chaffing us up here, I contemplated throwing both units of Fanatics into the Knight himself just to get rid of the Knight. But then I decided, instead of wasting my Fanatic that way, because it might not just do anything, I decided to move and charge into those Yeoman Outriders to get my Goblins in better positioning. Again, I don't know what I was thinking. To be honest, I think part of my thought process here was treating them like zombies or a skeleton horde. I wasn't thinking that. Even though it's 60 and 60, I could have just shot him to pieces. I mean, he does have -1 hit because of scrying, so I won't be able to get through all 60 in one turn unless I get a good enveloping embers off or something like that. But Black Orcs need to get in a better position. That is a given. I need to get rid of these Yeoman Outriders. I'm charging both of them in, and hopefully that'll give me good positioning with my Goblins. So I get in with both, kill 1 Black Orc on the ruins. Okay, I go ahead and I march up because I noticed my mistake. I march up with everybody else, and I throw Koopa inside the unit of goblins that are exposed to his Peg Knight. And my whole goal is, if he charges in, I just challenge and Koopa will hold his own, and I'll win because of ranks. And he was just kind of like, "Ah, oh, you fat son of a bitch, Koopa." He saw it, and he's like, "Koopa, you're a dirty bastard." If he goes to the other unit, I'll be fine. I'll be good, right? I moved my goblin unit so that way I could go ahead and take care of that Peg hero that's fighting the spider. I figure the spider will stick another round. My general's in range. My BSB's in range. I'll be stubborn again. And then on my following turn after that, I'll be able to charge in, get ranks, banners, all that, so and so, right? So that's how the table looks, all right? Magic, I got 8 power dice. This is the good magic phase, all right? I go ahead and I do a ruby rink. I take out the trebuchet. Nobody panics, okay? The one trebuchet of his did misfire, so it's facing the wrong way. All right. Then I go ahead and I do an enveloping embers and immolation. So enveloping embers goes off, and I just pick on the one. I'm focusing on this one unit here, and I kill 14 peasants. I did more wounds than 14. It just so happens that he has a 5-up armor and a 5-up board because of the reliquary. All right. So I end up killing off like 14 or 15 guys, which is pretty good. I love that. I mean, you can see there's a pile of dead bodies over there. All right. And then I did immolation. I throw it in front of the other unit of peasants. And I figured basically if he charges in, I'll stick because I'm black orcs. I'll be stubborn. And he'll be sitting on top of the immolation and burn twice. All right. So we're going to go into shooting. I'm going to go ahead and release the cow. The cow-nado. Go ahead and I throw the cow into his Peg Knight. Peg beat Lord. Okay. It gets through. They do about 10 hits. Out of those 10 hits, I get like 3 wounds. And out of the 3 wounds, he saves 1. Or he saves 2. And I only get 1 wound through. It was so... It was such a situation where he should have just been able to kill the guy. But the guy lives because they're Strength 5, AP 1. Which I'm not complaining about Strength 5, AP 1. I think Strength 5, AP 1 is awesome. But it just so happens that he made a ridiculous amount of saves. And I rolled a really shitty number when I was going for the rolls. I got 10 hits is nice, but when I went to wound, it was a shitty roll. A lot of 1s and 2s. Alright, so over here, he goes ahead and he puts on a couple more wounds onto the chicken rock. We stick because I'm stubborn, and I go ahead and I destroy the yeoman outriders. The goblins are in front, the immolation's in the way, my black orcs are facing that way. Let's go. It's turn 2, or turn 3. Peasants of Equittaine, turn 3. Peasants of Equittaine, turn 3. He charges these guys on the left, so I decide to stand and shoot. I might have killed one on the stand and shoot, not sure, but I decide to release my fanatics. I release them in such a way that I didn't want to burn my own fanatic on immolation. So I go ahead and I throw one in the crack there in case the other peasants come. And I go ahead and I throw one in front of the yeoman outrider just in case when they charge, because if I flee, I don't want him to be able to catch me. I was kind of thinking ahead. Alright, so I throw it over there. And he goes ahead and he takes the bait. He charges with the second unit. And I'm like, ha 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 ha, flee. So they flee through this way, okay, through my black orcs. And now he has 2 charging units that basically have to redirect. So he redirects. I think he decides just to fail charge. Or he tries to redirect into my black orcs. Or he might have just tried to do more damage to my black orcs to begin with. So he redirects. Fails the charge. He gets through. He rolls a 6, so he goes through the fanatic and through the immolation. He goes ahead and he kills 14 guys or so, 15 guys I think it was total out of all that, and that was through his armor and through his ward saves. So I still kill 15 with that, which is good. Again, I gotta just pick through these bricks. Okay, so he fails charge over there. There's a string on the table that's holding those guys up. He moves his yeoman outriders around the freaking fanatic and comes this way to block up chaff up my black orcs. And then what's going on? Then he moves his peg hero behind Koopa on this side. Magic phase, 6 power dice. So he goes ahead and he does this divination spell that hits my freaking black orcs, kills 5 of them. Alright, that's bullshit. It just is. unerring strike. That's what it was. Then he goes in and he turns off my immolation, and then he tries to do a scrying, and I stop it or something. Over here, shooting phase, he shoots at it. My Black Orcs kills off one more with his archers, and that's it. It's going to go ahead and start off turn 3 Orcs and Goblins. Turn 3 Orcs and Goblins. Here it is. I got the freaking flank. I'm going for the freaking meat and bones here. Charge! My Goblins are charging into the flank of that one character. I could barely fit based on where his guys are at. So I'm going to have to run through the ruins. I run through the ruins. I killed about 6 or 7 of my own goblins, but whatever. I killed my champ, which sucks. But again, whatever. I got into this guy. I have a charge, a big flank, 3 ranks, 3 banners, and he'll probably do 4 wounds to my shady git that I throw out there, but my shady git might get a wound off. Who knows? I save my spider. I'll win this combat. He'll do 4 wounds. He's a BSB, and I think he has the war banner, so I'll still win combat, but we'll see how that goes. Over here, these guys, one decided to die and trip on the hill. The other one decided just to keep traveling on. I turned Koopa around to face at this guy again. Those guys behind him rallied, and I decided to go into horde formation because I was going to try to release some fanatics, not thinking that I already used my fanatics like an idiot. Oh, man. Magic Phase got 8 power dice. Again, it wasn't my best game. Go ahead and I do a Scorching Salvo, and I fail it miserably, which makes the rest of my magic basically fail miserably because I try to do another Enveloping Embers, and he just decided to stop it because I failed the other spell. Close combat happens. I go in and I challenge with my Shady Git. He only does 2 wounds onto it, alright? So I win big. I win with charge, big flank, 3 ranks, 3 banners, no wounds, but I'm up by 9, and he got 3 or 4, so he's down by 5. He says the magic words right after that, which is, oh yeah, I'm stubborn because of your monster. And it's a BSB. Motherfucker! If I would have known that, I would not have charged. I would have accepted the Rock's fate, the Space Rock's fate. If I would have known that, I just would not have charged. I mean, that's my own mistake for not knowing the rule. The list was printed out beforehand, but god damn, that was just a huge mistake. God damn, that was a huge mistake. So now I'm stuck there, and he's going to countercharge me. He's going to start off his turn. Peasants of Equittaine, turn 4. He's going to charge this guy over Koopa into the back of those guys, right? He's going to charge the Peasants here into the front of these guys. I'm going to lose my biggest unit. I'm going to lose my mage. I'm going to lose my BSB. This is just going to suck. He fails to charge with the Peg Knight in the back, but he does get to charge in with the Peasants because it's obvious. Magic Phase, he got 7 power dice with his Donald Trump dice. If you look close enough, that face on the freaking dice is Donald Trump. Oh man. Anyways, he moves up everybody like so. The Green Knight finally comes out. He's been failing to come out for so long, but at the same time, I'll be able to handle his Peg character here, and then Koopa might be able to handle the Peg Knight afterwards. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just kind of in a shitty situation right now. I'm kind of surrounded in the middle of the table. Magic Phase gets a Ruby Ring off, kills off one of my Black Orcs. Goes ahead and does Know Thy Enemy in a bubble, gets it off, gives it to his guys. Close combat, I challenge with the Shady Git, who's missing part of his weapon. He does 4 wounds. And then he only did, through my parry, about 3 to 4 wounds to my goblin. So he has a total of 7 BSB, 3 ranks. Wait, 7 BSB, 3 ranks, maybe a banner, and the charge. So he's at 13. Alright, well I already have 6 because of banners and ranks. I have flank and big flank. So I got 7, 8. So I'm down like by 5, I think it was. I think it was 5. So I need I think I needed to roll a 5, re-rollable. I'm like thinking like it's Goblin Leadership, okay? I could do Goblin Leadership 5. I've done it before. I did it a minute ago. I roll it, I fail it, I roll it, I fail it again, and my goblins run, and he chases me down. Spider sticks, of course, because why not? The spider's not dead yet. And he gets his whole peasant horde to chase through the ruins. He does lose like 12 guys in the ruins, but my goblins are dead. Alright, it's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 4. Orcs and Goblins turn 4. charge Koopa in with the Horde. Why not? Get rid of this guy. I gotta get some points. I killed the fucking Trebuchet. He killed my BSB and my Shaman and my whole Goblin Horde. I charged the Black Orcs in because at this point I'm like, why the fuck not? There's no real reason for me to stay here. Let's go ahead and kill some bastards. And I just kind of leave everybody else like so. Fanatics are swinging their balls around. Why not? Alright. These guys regrouped into 30. Try to shoot at the Green Knight. Nothing happened. Koopa puts a wound on this guy. Challenge. Go ahead and do a wound. He fails to wound Koopa. I win back on charge. 2 ranks and a wound. He's down by 4. He fails his leadership check. And now the way I angled him, the way I angled the charge, I'm going to run crooked. I should have gone the other way so I could have dealt with the Green Knight. I did not. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and chase him crooked and I expose the back of my unit to the Green Knight unless I get out of his charge arc. I do get out of his charge arc and I kill his Peg Knight. So Koopa, you fat son of a bitch, you killed somebody. You actually killed somebody, Koopa. I don't think I gave you your points yet for that, though. I did not. Okay, so I'm going to do this really quick. That guy on the Pegasus, okay, was a total of 590 points. Divide that by 3, 196, times that by 2, 393. That's how much Koopa got right now. Don't know why I'm not giving Koopa credit where credit's due. He actually killed more points than he's worth. Good job, Koopa. Alright. So, these guys are going to get in. That's that. Alright, over here, this guy finally kills off the spider, and it's going to go ahead and start off turn 5. I apparently didn't show you the combat that happened with the Black Orcs, because the Black Orcs killed some Peasants. Peasants might have killed 1 or 2 Black Orcs. I win combat, but he's going to stick, and I'm going to just be stuck there. And it's going to go ahead and start off turn 5, Peasants of Equittaine. And at this point, I start taking less and less pictures, because it just starts to downpour really fast. So, he charges the Green Knight into a Hail Mary, or he charges into my Goblins. I flee. I think I just might have failed the terror check, but I flee and I fall all the way back there. Alright, well, he decides he's going to charge them even more with, I think, the Peg Hero BSB that just beat the spider. So it pushes them way over to the other side of the table. For the record, they don't rally on a 5. They would have been fine, but they just don't rally on a 5. He redirects and puts the Peg Hero into, both of them into the Black Orcs. The Green Knight fails and is chilling back there. The Peg Hero gets in, I believe. Magic Phase, he got 5 power dice. I don't even remember. He might have gave himself +2 weapon skill and initiative. I don't remember. Challenge. I challenge with my general because I figure I have the best odds of killing this Peg Hero with my general. Well, as it may be, we both whiff. It continues with that sock fight, and nothing happens. So, I kill off a bunch of his guys. I'm stubborn on a 9. I don't even have the pictures of it. I think he killed one of my guys. I killed a bunch of his. But it doesn't matter. Either I'm stubborn or he's steadfast. I think he won combat, though. Because he has 3 ranks, 2 banners, BSB, whatever. So, we stick. And a charge and a flank. I killed like 5 guys. And it's going to go ahead and start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 5. I move Koopa right behind the Green Knight. I know where he's going with the Green Knight. I leave the Goblins at the edge of the table. At the edge of the table because I figured there's no point of giving up points. So they're just going to stay right there. The other Goblins kept running. Or no, I think they actually rallied. They might have rallied. I don't remember. Anyways, close combat over here. He ends up putting on 2 lucky wounds through my General Juggertooth's armor. Probably because it was a poser. Because that wasn't the real Juggertooth. Because the real Juggertooth weapon is broken. And I didn't want to take a picture of it. So he kills 1 Black Orc. I kill a bunch of his freaking Peasants again. As you can see he only has like 20 or so Peasants. He wins combat by like 1 or 2. I roll for the break check. I roll a 10. My Black Orcs run. He chases and I get away. I roll like a 7 and his BSB rolls like a 3 and his Peasants roll like a 4. I get away, but this was my turn. Okay? Causes a panic check on the Goblins who are just recently rallied. They're going to run away. Alright? Or I think the Green Knight tears them and they run away. Anyways, He charges here. He forces my guy. He pushes my Black Orcs off the table, hoping to panic check my Goblins and Koopa. Both of them stick. Nope, I take it back. The Goblins fail, and the Goblins run away. So the Goblins run off the table. I lose both units. The Goblins on the other side are off the table. I lose every unit except for Koopa. And I'm like, and he goes, we could just call it there. And I'm like, no, Koopa's still there. I've earned some fucking points. I'm going to charge Koopa into the ass of the Green Knight. And he goes, well, I didn't do my shooting phase or my magic. So I'm going to shoot a trebuchet into Koopa. And I'm like, okay. He shoots it. He hits it. And Koopa dies. Oh my fucking god. It was a massacre. It was a massacre. I'm not mad at Joel. I'm not mad at his list. I don't think the list is incredibly dickish. He played the way he was supposed to play. I just didn't. I played like a dumbass the whole game. And we got smoked. The whole team got smoked. I think Phil ended up with 4 points on his game. My brother ended up with 1 point, and I got a total of 0 points. It was a horrible way to start game one, turn one of this team tournament, and Irby got 0 points as well. But I think my favorite line out of Irby this weekend was the first line he gave me, which was, I was like, nobody wants to take out Chris because Chris has a dick list. And I go, he has this giant zombie dragon with a 4-up regen. And Irby looks at me and he goes, I have flaming catapults. And I was like, oh, okay. Again, I just got there from like a late flight and broken models, and I'm like, okay, you can handle Chris. And then Irby's table is like right next to mine, and I hear I hear Chris say, no, Irby, you do not have flaming catapults. Oh, that was funny to me. That was just hilarious. Anyways, that was how my first game started. I ended up putting a video up right after. For the record, in this picture here, before Koopa died, you can see in the background there's 3 trophies back there. That's Best Painted Army, Best Painted Single Unit, and Best Painted Regiment. I was looking at that Best Regiment trophy, and I was like, I want that trophy. I really want that trophy. That trophy looks good. It'll look good on my shelf. I would be happy with it. Let's see if I can get it, right? So that was my goal, was to get that trophy on the left. I was like, that's the one. Anyways, it was a crappy game for me. Joel, good job. You played how you were supposed to play, and you killed Koopa with the trebuchet. I know what my mistakes were. I honestly, again, going back in my head, if I was just to play the objective and focus fire on one unit, he would have to retreat with that one unit. If I were just to push everybody up 8 inches the first turn, because I know I'm not going to shoot that first turn, stop the scrying, shoot everything I can into that unit, and just work on them, and then just keep myself defensively so these Peg Knights don't really do shit, I shouldn't have given them my monsters to the Peg Knights at all. And for the record, I think I played Kingdom of Equittaine like 1, 2, I want to say 2 times, maybe 3 times in this tournament, because there was a lot of Kingdom of Equittaine out there. So it was interesting. We rolled it out for fun of it to see if Koopa would have won against the Green Knight. The answer was yes, Koopa would have won against the Green Knight. But it didn't happen once the trebuchet got me. Wasted the Fanatics. I think I could have killed that Peg Lord if I used all 4 Fanatics on him and didn't have to worry about him. Wasted my Spider going up there, and I really didn't even need to push the Black Orcs. Like, he could have hit me with all trebuchets all game, and as long as I had the mage constantly work on him and blow it up, I think I would have had all my Black Orcs in good shape, to be honest. But yeah, I think I was aggressive when I didn't need to be aggressive, and I think I needed to be more conservative and shoot more. And that was the strength of my list. My strength of my list was 100 bows, and I just did not use it or utilize it correctly. So it was interesting. I'm not disheartened by this game at all. This game did not dishearten me. I was again just not in the right mindset. Starting off going against the most competitive team of the whole tournament. These guys were on that YouTube video were definitely favored to win the whole thing. They had all 4 lists were solid lists, and they were just basically the favorites to win the whole thing. So they started off great by just tabling us, and we got 20 mercy points because of even though we lost, they figured that instead of just having people start from the bottom, they get handicapped the first couple rounds. It'll keep them in the game to be more competitive, which kind of works. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I enjoyed making it. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like, share, subscribe, all that kind of jazz. Guys, I'm still going to Salamanca, Spain, so if you guys would be so kind to donate to my channel or my Patreon, you could go. I'll leave the links down below. I also have a Patreon event that I'm running where you may win a banner painted by me. So if you guys sign up, the more you put down, the more times your names will be entered in the hat. And yeah, so guys, go ahead and sign up, and you might win a good, nice looking banner. Besides that, I think I covered everything. My MVP in this game was definitely Koopa, just because Koopa killed somebody. I mean, the Fire Mage started to be an MVP, but I gave up my Fire Mage like an idiot, charging into a stubborn guy, and then putting myself in a very shitty spot to get countercharged by 2 units. Baxter did pull out a lot of points with Enveloping Embers and Fireballs killing that freaking Trebuchet, but all in all, Koopa killed off one of the Peg Heroes, and that was really the only points besides the Trebuchet that I really got. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I'll see you guys next time, okay? And, peace. Actually, I should give those extra points to the freaking Cave Goblins, too, so the Cave Goblins get some more points, too. Alright, guys. Peace.